It's now time for the Coaches Show on News Talk 1250 KBRF and KBRFradio.com, presented by the Viking Cafe and brought to you by the Minnesota Motor Company, Lake Region Healthcare, Nelson Auto Center, Quality Toyota, and by Running Stitches. Now for the Coaches Show presented by the Viking Cafe, here's Craig Olson.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Saturday morning Coaches Show as we begin the first of 24 shows over the next 28 weeks. We've got a couple of breaks built in there, a couple of weeks between the fall and winter season, and then over the Christmas and New Year's holidays as well. But other than that, we're going to be here on Saturday mornings talking with coaches from Fergus Falls High School, from Hillcrest Lutheran Academy, Spartan coaches, area coaches. We're going to have a lot of variety here over the next few months as we follow fall and winter sports. And this year, we'd like to welcome the Viking Cafe as a presenting sponsor of the Coaches Show. And I've got a mug full of my unsweetened iced tea, which is my drink of choice. But coffee usually goes in these, I understand. I'm not a big coffee drinker, but I know the coaches, most of them are. But the Viking Cafe has been feeding Otter athletes and fans since 1967. Now, that qualifies as being a staple in the community, right? I just had an omelet and hash browns, and if that doesn't make you hungry, an omelet and hash browns from the Viking, then I'm concerned about you, okay? Because it's a great way to start your day, and that's how I started mine today, and the coaches are going to be gifted omelet and hash browns from the Viking as well. So great to have the Viking Cafe with us as part of the program. Also, we are going to be giving away some hats this year, courtesy of Running Stitches Embroidery. It says AM 1250 KBRF Sports. So we're going to be giving those away to the coaches to proudly display. And also, I understand that in the coming weeks, we'll also be giving away some other items. In fact, the Viking Cafe is going to give away a $25 gift certificate during the show today. More on that coming up here in just a few minutes on how you can try to win that gift certificate. Well, normally we would start the program with a cross-country interview with either Nikki Weldy or Derek Meyer from the Otter Cross Country teams, but they were unavailable this morning, so it allowed me an opportunity here to just kind of lay out the groundwork for what we're doing with the Coaches Show this season. And we'll be joined shortly by Chris Grabowska, the football coach for the Otters, as they started the season last night at home with a 21-13 win over the Wilmer Cardinals. But I do want to just give you a little summary of the cross-country week as the Otters were involved in their first action. They were at the Vintage Golf Course in Staples, and there were 14 teams involved from around the area. The Otter boys placed second as a team by a narrow 6-point margin over Park Rapids, as Park Rapids claimed that team championship. The varsity boys were led by Samuel Rasmussen. He finished in fourth place. And then Micah Mosier was fifth. You had Brody Nelson seventh. Braden Haugen was 20th. Noah Schlosser came in 24th. Eric Swanson was 27th. And Lewis Leonard ended up at 29th in that event for the Otters. On the girls' side, Cassie Wellman and Carson Lill led the way. They both placed in the top 5 individually, as the Otter girls finished in third place at the Vintage Golf Course in Staples, and they had Minnewaska area finish first with 65 points. Then you had Breckenridge and Fergus Falls come in with 70 points, and they go to the tiebreaker there, which is the 6th runner, because the top 5 in a varsity competition, that is where you get your team score. But if there's a tie, you go to the 6th runner, and you can run 7 on the varsity level. And when they went to the tiebreaker, the Breckenridge Wahpeton runner had the edge, so they get second place, and the Otters finished third as a team. Cassie Wellman was second. Carson Lill was fourth. Lydia Ugarud was 14th. Allie Bradenberg came in 29th, and Violet McCann came in 41st. Olivia Budke was 51st, and Lilia Ronovic was in 53rd place. So that's the way the cross-country season opened. And next week, we'll be joined by either Nikki or Derek to talk about their team a little more in detail. And we'll also be joined by Rachel Cox of the Otter Girls Swimming and Diving team 2 weeks from today. Rachel will make her debut. They had their first meet this last week as well, and they wound up with a win over Detroit Lakes, 99-86. Otters were first in both freestyle relays as the team of Ella Kopinski and Riley Kubala, Olivia Jensen, and Estee Versteeg won the 200 freestyle relay. And then Ella Kopinski, Ace Oppie, Olivia Jensen, and Estee Versteeg finished first in the 400 freestyle relay. Ella Kopinski was a double winner in the 200 IM and in the 100 breaststroke. And Estee Versteeg was a double winner as well in the 50 free and the 100 free. As the Otters had a great first meet, Olivia Jensen won the 500 freestyle, and Hannah Fear took first in the 100 backstroke. So swim season off to a good start as well. Well, of course, Friday Night Lights is a thing. Everybody loves Friday Night Lights. As a fan or as a player or as a coach, you've got great memories probably if you played under the lights on Friday nights in high school, or if you're a fan and have had kids or grandkids play, you know what it's like. There's nothing quite like Friday Night Lights. Well, this week we got to do Thursday Night Lights and Friday Night Lights, so I guess that's double the fun, right? And we had our first broadcast of the season on Thursday. We've got a great broadcasting crew once again this year, some experienced guys who love what they do and know what they're doing. And Brad Anderson is one of them, and Brad was with us on Thursday as he covered the game in Henning for Otter Tail Central against Ashby, Brandon, Evansville. And those two teams went at it, had a battle back and forth, tooth and nail down to the wire, and Otter Tail Central prevailed 22-18 over Ashby, Brandon, Evansville in that game. Brad covered it on KJ Country, 96.5 FM, and we're going to be doing a number of games. The majority of our games this year, including all of the Fergus Falls high school games that we cover, and a number of games involving Hillcrest and Battle Lake and Underwood and Ashby and Rothsay, are going to be radio and video streams. So you're going to be able to listen, as always, on one of our Leighton Media radio stations, and then be able to catch the video stream either through the KBRF YouTube channel or streaming through the Fergus Now app as well. And if you haven't loaded that app on your mobile device, be sure and do that, because there's a lot of good stuff on the Fergus Now app, and you can access all 4 radio stations in the Leighton Media family, and you can, of course, get the live streaming and sports streaming that we offer, and the archives of those streaming games as well. So might want to check that out if you haven't already, and get that Fergus Now app on there. And I know the news is updated on there daily with Derek Sidian involved there, and a lot of fun things on the video stream. Let's start by giving you the rest of the scores, because last night Mark Johnson was at the Otter Stadium where the Otters opened up their season, had a good night, won the game 21-13. We're going to get into more details on that with Coach Grabowska in just a few minutes. But let's go through some of the Thursday scores as Rothsay opened up in Lancaster against Kitson County Central, and Kitson County won 33-20. Also, Pillager went to War Road and won 45-20. Barnesville had that long trek to Roseau, came home with a 52-19 win. Belgrade Bruton El Rosa was an 18-12 winner over New York Mills. Lake Park Audubon defeated West Central area 28-14 in their opener. Bertha Hewitt routed Black Duck 44-12. These are all Thursday. Underwood had their home opener and lost to Badger Greenbush Middle River 44-18. Hillcrest had a big night, 44-8 over Northern Freeze. And by the way, we're going to have Corey Fry join us on Monday or Tuesday on Talking Sports Tuesday morning, I'm told. It's great to have someone who knows what they're talking about behind the camera, so I can sound like I know what I'm talking about. So Corey will be with us on Tuesday at 7:25. Talk about that Hillcrest win. They had a big night, 44-8 over Northern Freeze. And also last night, in addition to the Otters win, the games that were played around the area included Breckenridge with a 55-34 shootout against Benson. Parker's Prairie won over Upsala Swanville area, 34-22. Perham beat Park Rapids area, 20-14. Pelican Rapids handled Holly, 24-0. Delano beat Detroit Lakes, 20-7. DL's the next opponent for the Otters next week on the road. DGF defeated Thief River Falls, 28-7. Frazee won 22-0 over Browerville Eagle Valley. And it was LPGE hosting Wadena Deer Creek last night. Wolverines won that one by a score of 8-0. And Border West lost to Stephen Argyle, 34-16. And Goodridge Grigla beat Hancock 46-6. So those are the scores around the area from high school football. And speaking of high school football, Chris Grabowski is going to join us after our first time out. And again, thanks to the Viking Cafe, our presenting sponsor, and they've been serving and feeding Otter athletes and fans since 1967, and they're feeding the coaches this morning those great omelets and hash browns. Great way to start the day from the Viking. We'll start our football conversation with Coach Grabowski on the other side of the break. Thanks for joining us for the Coaches Show here on Newstalk 1250 KBRF, streaming live through the Fergus Now app.
The key to a great meal is at the Viking Cafe of Fergus Falls. The Viking Cafe with Minnesota's best omelet, manhole cover pancakes, and burgers that will fill your appetite. The key to a great breakfast and lunch is at the Viking Cafe, downtown Fergus Falls.
Welcome to Minnesota Motor Company.
As a customer, you can expect award-winning sales and service, body shop, express lube, Boss snowplows and accessories, and auto glass installation and repair.
Minnesota Motor.
Shout loud. Cheer strong. Jump for joy. Keeping our community healthy and spirited is the top priority. Lake Region Healthcare.
Nelson Auto Center in Fergus Falls and Grand Forks is your shopping stop for America's 3 favorite truck brands, Ford, Ram, and GMC. Whether you're towing, hauling, or just enjoying the open road, we have a truck for you. Half, 3/4, and 1 ton. There's a truck for every job. Stop and visit or shop any of our stores at NelsonAutoCenter.com. Nelson Auto Center, Fergus Falls and Grand Forks.
Running Stitches Embroidery in Fergus Falls is West Central Minnesota's leader in high-quality screen printing and custom embroidery. Whether you're looking for a one-of-a-kind custom job or need to outfit the entire team, Running Stitches Embroidery will be there when you need them.
What's your number?
I drove 60 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota.
I drove 45 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota.
Quality Toyota.
The key to a great meal is at the Viking Cafe of Fergus Falls. The Viking Cafe with Minnesota's best omelet, manhole cover pancakes, and burgers that will fill your appetite. The key to a great breakfast and lunch is at the Viking Cafe, downtown Fergus Falls.
I know. Yeah, well, that's what you hope to do no matter where you're at in the season. Oh, we're back. Hi. Chris Grabowski is here. He's head coach of the Otter football team in his second year as head coach. Feel a little more comfortable coming in this year, Chris? You kind of were thrown in last year and had to figure everything out and get to know the players and the coaches and the league and all that. So how is it coming into the second year?
It's great. We kind of, have our culture established, and we obviously lost a lot of guys from last year's team. So it's really nice to see these younger kids come in and the seniors step into their leadership roles, and that's, really taken shape over our last few weeks of fall camp practices. So kids just have a hard-working attitude, and, they just want to go out there and make their legacy now and make their mark. So it's just kind of really fun to see them get after it.
Well, last year you couldn't have had much better year for our first year with a team, a 10-1 and quarterfinal appearance in the state playoffs. And now, like you said, there's a whole new group of kids stepping into their opportunity. And last night was a great start for them. You picked up a 21-13 win over Wilmer. I watched the game on our video stream and listened to Mark Johnson's call on it. And it sure seemed like, for a lot of guys who are maybe new to the varsity starting role, they looked pretty good. They executed well. There weren't a whole lot of, real things where you go, ooh, boy, that wasn't a good deal. But how did you feel as a coaching staff at the end of the game as far as your execution on both sides of the ball?
Yeah, I thought, players and coaches alike, we definitely earned this win. Wilmer is they're an experienced team from what I understand. They had a lot of guys that have been playing for a couple of years, and we obviously didn't. So it was just nice to see those younger guys step up and execute. I think they definitely were tested last year when they had to go against all those guys from last year's team. So I think that, preparation-wise, having to practice against those guys all year long it helped, develop them as players and getting them ready for this year's schedule. I can definitely tell right off the bat, though, this 4A schedule, and it's going to be a gauntlet, and it's going to be tough. And but our kids are ready, and they're willing to work for it every week. So execution, both sides of the ball, really well. I mean, obviously, there's always some first game mistakes. I think we gave up a long pass, just some broken coverage. But those are things you got to work on every week. There's always a few things that you pick up in the film and that we're going to have to work on to get our team better.
You mentioned the big pass play, but other than that, defensively, you had a number of 3-and-outs defensively where you held the team without a first down, got the ball back in your offense's hands, which you wanted to do. And it looked, from what I could tell, that you really were sound with your tackling. Did you feel that was a strength last night?
Yeah, I thought they did pretty well. I mean, that's been a focus all year for us is tackle. Do the little things, right? Tackling, blocking. You got to do those two things to be able to play football and win football games. So on both sides of the ball, I thought we did those two things really well last night. Really impressed with our defense. We said from day one we have a lot of the most returning starters on the defensive side of the ball from last year. So we said from day one that's got to be a cornerstone of our team, and I thought they did a great job doing that last night.
I know you recovered at least one fumble. You had a sack or two in there. Is this going to be a defense that can create some havoc and come up with the big play?
Yeah, I think so. There's definitely that potential. We have athletes. I like the athletes that we have all over. They're athletic kids. They can make plays, and we definitely focus on turnovers. That's something that we emphasize in practice, and like every team does. So, yeah, that's definitely a possibility for these kids.
That's always exciting too. I think you talk to players, if they're two-way players, and you ask them, do you prefer offense or defense? I think the most of them will say defense.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, defense is fun. I played defense all the way through college, so it's a side of the ball where you get to hit people, right? You don't have to take the hits. So it's always fun delivering the pain instead of taking it.
I like the way you said that. Yeah, Chris Grabowska is the head coach of the Otters, and they won last night 21-13. Offensively, you got a big play right away. That helps. Isaiah Holmes broke a 34-yard touchdown run for you. You have that explosive capability among some of your skilled players. Yeah,
we do have a lot of skilled guys that can make plays, and that's where our depth is on our team. Is we got a lot of guys that can step in there and give guys breaks too. So, but yeah, last night I thought Isaiah and Mason Olin, they're two returning players for us, senior captains for us. They did what they were supposed to do last night, and that was really nice to see.
As far as your running attack goes, and it looks like you're going to be very balanced, but who are you looking at to get the majority of the carries? You really spread it out last night. Is that kind of going to be the way it is, a running game by committee?
Yeah, offensively it's just kind of fun. You got a couple of great receivers and Micah Johnson, and then you got Mason and Isaiah and Trenton Juilliard this year. So and then Parker Tilke when he comes back for us. So we got a lot of depth at our wide receiver position, so it's fun to kind of spread the ball out to them. But in the running game, Caleb Froning and then Pee Wee Bethel, he can run the ball too. We got a couple guys that are going to be coming back for us too at the running back position. So it's going to be fun to spread the ball out and kind of chart, hey, these guys need to get a certain amount of touches. That guy needs to get a certain amount of touches. So that's going to be fun for us this year.
You're going to put a lot of pressure on defenses with the options that you have there, both on the running game and the passing game.
Yes. Yeah, we got a playbook that's capable of getting the ball spread out everywhere.
You mentioned Parker Tilke. When is he coming back? What's the progress on his situation?
Yeah, he's got a little MCL sprain, so yeah, it's a week-by-week basis, but we'll see what happens. He's going through his rehab right now, and we're excited to get him healthy and back helping our team.
Talk about Pee Wee Bethel, because Henry, of course, was your quarterback last year, and I'm sure people are going to call him Henry. You probably do a lot. I know Mark did a couple times last night, and I don't fault him at all because I've been there, done that many times. But Pee Wee's another, just another great athlete.
He is, and for a sophomore, you can't really tell he's a sophomore. I thought he did an exceptional job last night. He was poised. He led our offense. He stayed in the pocket when he needed to. He escaped when he needed to make some plays. And I can see why people call him Henry. I mean, they're pretty much they look like the same player out there. So, but, Pee Wee, he was just really poised. And he played like a senior quarterback, in my opinion. And I was just really impressed with him. And he's going to have an exciting future ahead of him for sure.
Well, and of course, you want to protect him with a good offensive line. And I know we spent a lot of time last year talking about your line because it was so good and they were so tight and cohesive and just got the job done week in, week out. You lost a lot of those guys. But, last night I thought your line looked good. What's your impression on your line, and who do we have kind of carrying the load up front?
Well, we are few on the line. We are the lucky few that get to play the offensive line. So we have about 6 or 7 guys that we are going to be counting on to carry the load on the offensive line this year. We lost all 5 starting linemen last year, and 5 new guys are stepping in. And I thought from game 1 they're doing a really good job. We just got to keep those guys, in shape and healthy for sure going through this season. But first game, really, really, really impressed with them. There's some guys that we didn't expect stepping up. Paulo Carrillo, he's got his first start as a varsity player, senior, snapping the football. Didn't have any mistakes from my knowledge, so that was really nice to see. And then our guards are Isaac Mock and Jackson Conklin. They're doing a fine job. Isaac, he's a kid that we had to move the offensive line. He was planning to play tight end for us this year, but we're like, we don't have a lot of depth on the O-line. We got to get you going there. And he's like, I think after the scrimmage game last weekend, he's like, I kind of like this pulling stuff because our guards pull a lot.
Yep.
So that's kind of up his alley. So it's kind of fun to watch him do that. And then tackle-wise, Nolan Field and Max Brunn. Nolan, you've seen Nolan. He's like 6'5", 275. He's a monster out there. So we're going to rely on those guys to protect the quarterback and also in the run game too.
Oh, it'll be interesting too now in the 4A schedule. You're going to see some bigger lines, I would guess, than what you saw even last year.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. We are going to see some big lines and some teams that are going to have more depth than us there, but we're embracing the mentality. We are few, and we're lucky that we get to do this, and we just got to know that we're not coming out of the game, and you have to finish 4 quarters of football.
Special teams, Chris, always, it can be a make or break situation there. And on the extra point team last night, you were 3 for 3. Josh Horgan got it done for you there, but you got to get a good snap and a good hold and the good kick, and everybody's got a block. There's a lot to it.
Exactly. I thought Josh did a great job. First time, he's a junior. he wasn't quite sure. We had another kid on the soccer team that was going to do it and then backed out at the last second, and Josh stepped up. So I was really proud of him for going in there and not letting the nerves get the best of him, and he was really poised and got those kicks through. And he's also, he did great on the kickoff too, for the most part, I thought. So it's only going to go up from here.
Field goal potential there?
Oh, yeah. There's one time I thought we should have kicked the field goal, but you know me, I like to go for it on fourth down. So
you're a coach. Everybody loves to go for it, right? Yeah. You're not a conservative coach. You'll go for it. Yeah. So as far as return men, again, you've got some guys that are explosive. Who are we going to see doing most of that duty? Yeah,
Isaiah Holmes, he's going to be our punt returner. He's been back there for a couple of years. He's lights out back there when he gets he's just so good at catching the ball and tracking the ball and then finding his lanes to get some yards for us. So really going to rely on him to get us good field position when we get the ball back on offense. And then in the kick return game, we got Caleb and Isaiah Holmes back there too. So
that'll be exciting for sure. Love field position, and those guys will get you some good field position.
Yes, they will.
Yeah. Well, you have, I think, from your preseason report that you provided, you have 5 players from last year who are now playing college football.
Mm-hmm.
How proud are you of the fact that you've got 5 guys out of your program who are continuing to play this game?
It's just a testament to the athletes we have, I think, first and foremost. I'm extremely proud. It's fun to, once you played for me, I'm always going to love you. It's so fun they were all back at the game last night, and it was fun to see them and reconnect with them and kind of ask how their fall's kicking off, and they're all doing really well and loving it and putting in the work. And but yes, it's just kind of a testament to the program that we built and the kids that we have, and excited for them and see what they do in their future.
How fun is it to open at home, too? Because I know you had a great crowd, and it's a great place to watch a football game.
Yes, fun to get that first win at home, and they're going into the school week next week. I had an AD once told me, the school year depends on how well your football team does. That was an AD back in Montana.
No pressure, Chris.
I know, right? Yeah. But I thought the boys did a good job of getting a win, grinding it out. And I think it's going to be a great week in school next year for those boys and for the school in general.
Getting ready for DL now, and that's a big rivalry. And DL's got a strong program. See, they were shut out last night by Delano, and I imagine Delano's good too. But I'm sure you started prepping for DL already.
Yep. DL's always a tough game. They got a lot of good kids just like we do, and it's kind of a rivalry game too. And, they're just right down the road, so anything can happen in these kinds of games. So we just got to put our head down, treat it like any other week, and get ourselves prepared and find out what plays we got to stop, find out what players we got to focus on, and just kind of get better on the offensive side of the ball too with our game plan, see where we want to attack.
And stay healthy, right?
Exactly.
Did you come out of the game okay last night that way?
Yep. Yeah, I think no injuries to my knowledge, and I think just the guys are tired,
Sure.
Especially our linemen. They had to play both ways a lot last night, so they need to take their weekend and get recovered and come back Monday ready to work.
Any cramping issues last night?
Yes.
Yeah, quite a bit.
We harped on that all week. Like, you got to hydrate, salt water, put a little salt on your food. I know they did it, but I think, since the beginning of time, always that first game, you're going to have those cramping issues. So we were dealing with that, and so was Wilmer last night. So hopefully that's not an issue going into this week, but we'll definitely address it and try to take care of it.
All right, sounds good. Well, I know coaches love to wear hats. As you can see, he's got the Fergus Falls hat on there. Well, you need another one for your collection. So Running Stitches Embroidery is providing these AM 1250 KBRF sports hats. They're pretty sharp.
Yeah, I like those kind of hats.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
There you go. Yeah, thanks for coming in every week and talking about your team. And we're looking forward to it. It will be an exciting season. And fans, Mark Johnson's going to be covering Otter football throughout the season, and games are on 977 FM and streaming live through the Fergus Now app and on the KBRF YouTube channel. So, Chris, thanks so much for your time this morning. Enjoy your weekend and get ready for DL.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for covering all of our sports. We appreciate all the publicity, so it's nice for those kids.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
And we're going to take a break. We'll come back. We'll continue our conversation with the coaches on the other side of the break. You're listening and watching to the Coaches Show on News Talk 1250 KBRF and streaming live through the Fergus Now app.
The key to a great meal is at the Viking Cafe of Fergus Falls. The Viking Cafe with Minnesota's best omelet, manhole cover pancakes, and burgers that will fill your appetite. The key to a great breakfast and lunch is at the Viking Cafe, downtown Fergus Falls.
Welcome to Minnesota Motor Company.
As a customer, you can expect award-winning sales and service, body shop, express lube, Boss snowplows and accessories, and auto glass installation and repair.
Minnesota Motor.
Shout loud. Cheer strong. Jump for joy. Keeping our community healthy and spirited is the top priority. Lake Region Healthcare.
Nelson Auto Center in Fergus Falls and Grand Forks is your shopping stop for America's 3 favorite truck brands, Ford, Ram, and GMC. Whether you're towing, hauling, or just enjoying the open road, we have a truck for you. Half, 3/4, and 1 ton. There's a truck for every job. Stop and visit or shop any of our stores at NelsonAutoCenter.com. Nelson Auto Center, Fergus Falls and Grand Forks.
Running Stitches Embroidery in Fergus Falls is West Central Minnesota's leader in high-quality screen printing and custom embroidery. Whether you're looking for a one-of-a-kind custom job or need to outfit the entire team, Running Stitches Embroidery will be there when you need them.
What's your number?
I drove 60 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota.
I drove 45 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota.
Quality Toyota.
The key to a great meal is at the Viking Cafe of Fergus Falls. The Viking Cafe with Minnesota's best omelet, manhole cover pancakes, and burgers that will fill your appetite. The key to a great breakfast and lunch is at the Viking Cafe, downtown Fergus Falls.
Do I push it down or is this good?
Welcome back. Sabrina Noon is here. She's the volleyball coach at Fergus Falls High School. Good morning, Sabrina.
Good morning.
Season's rolling.
Yes, it is.
Well, I guess you've got a new assistant coach this year, I understand.
Yeah, I do.
We got to start there.
I know. I knew you'd be excited.
Well, I worked with Renee for so long. Renee Erickson, former head coach. And, and you probably worked with Renee for years, too.
I did work for years for Renee, yeah. So it's fun to have her back in the gym. She's just a light ball of energy, and she so positive. And so, yeah, she's fun.
She gives everybody a nickname.
Yes, she
does.
So
what's yours?
She took mine from high school. My nickname is Beaner.
Oh, okay.
So I got that in high school softball, and it's stuck with me. But Fergus people don't know it as much. They probably do now.
They will. Yeah, you get Renee in there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's exciting. And of course, you've got a group of players who have come up through the program who love this game.
Yes.
And I know they had quite a dedicated off season. Did you feel like there was a lot of growth and progress during the off season?
Yes. Actually, it's been in the last few years that, and that's why it's been just getting stronger and stronger every year is we have really great leadership in our program and girls, doing stuff outside of my gym time, which is, sometimes key, and, attending other specialty clinics and stuff like that. So it's really fun to see them and the excitement they have in their eyes and the hunger they have in their eyes. And it's just lighting up the gym every time we step in there. And so it's a really exciting season, really fun to coach them. I mean, I can throw stuff at them. I can throw critiques. I can throw challenges, and they're just like, okay, let's do this. So it's really fun.
One thing about volleyball, it's such a momentum game. I mean, you can be riding a high for several points, and then all of a sudden you can't figure anything out, and you're on a low for a while. And you have to be resilient. Would you say this is a group of girls that can be pretty resilient?
It is. A really good example, kind of going back even into summer and then even starting out our first game. We had a game this summer, which we haven't had a game like this in years. We were playing Moorhead, and it was in the summer, and it was point for point for point for point. And sometimes we used to get in those lulls of like, a run of 5 points for the other team. And we just never knew how to recover those points. Like physically we were with them, but we just had those moments that we couldn't recover from. And, or like the mental part of it is just like, oh my gosh, we're close. And then it would just kind of, panic mode would set in, and then we'd kind of just lose those 5 points and then just wouldn't be able to get them back. And, I haven't seen it a lot this year. Like the mental part of the game is definitely stronger. So that's awesome. And so we were playing Moorhead, and it was point for point. And I think it ended up being like a 39-37 game.
Oh, wow.
We didn't end up with the win, but that game was so fought hard, and, it was point for point. And those take a toll on you. Those are really long rallies, and it was such a fun game. And then, our game opener, we went 5 games, and St. Cloud Tech, and we knew St. Cloud Tech, they're a very solid team this year. They're going to be one of the top in our conference. And they have a couple really strong hitters. One of their outsides, Miracle, is really strong. And we knew she was going to be a challenge. And some of our adjustments that we were able to make that game is what kept us in those games. And it had to do with our block. It had to do with our defense. And when we could make those adjustments, it was a game changer. And that's what brought us into those wins at the end, and then close games in our last 5th game. So, it's only going to go up from there. They're really listening. They're taking it in, and that's what we need from them. So it's awesome.
That Tech game, you hosted them. They won the first 2 sets. And then you won the next 2, which is just what we're talking about here, that resilience, being able to come back, forcing that 5th game. And for those of you who don't know, in volleyball, you play, it's called rally scoring to 25 in the first 4 sets. You have to win by 2. And then the 5th set, it goes to 15. How different is that, Sabrina, as far as your approach as a team? When you know it's 15, does it change anything?
Oh, yeah, it does. Because, you don't have room in those games to have those lulls. And unfortunately, we did in that game, but we still came back and made it a 15-13 game. Unfortunately, in that game, it was the start of the game that kind of did us in. We started down, and then it was like, and they kicked it into gear just a tish too late. And so, that first game, jitters, we had a lot of new girls out there too that, probably had some nerves for their first night. But those are kind of subsiding a little bit. And then in our next game against Becker, it was insane.
3-0.
Yeah. My girls, they, the errors. One of the things against St. Cloud Tech is that we, our serving line game wasn't very strong. We had a lot of missed serves and some really crucial points. And unfortunately, that's not to pick on the girls, but that's a fact. And they know it. And, that's something that they were frustrated about. And normally it's, us coaches being frustrated about it, that they saw it just as much as we did. And they're like, that's not going to happen again. So, that part of the game is different. And then against Becker, our serving game was amazing. The choices we made on the floor was awesome. And they controlled that game from start to finish. And we even had a little lull, even in one of the games. And we had a good point lead, so we could afford that little lull. But when they came back, it was like, they were like, oh yeah, and understood what had happened in that moment and fixed it, and then we didn't see another one. So it was great.
Well, Renee and every volleyball coach I've talked to, Ann Williams, you mentioned whoever, have always told me the first touch on both sides of the net is so important, and the serve is one of the first touches, obviously, when you have the serve. And then the reception on serves is important, and the digs off the hit are important.
Yeah.
You're pretty strong back there on that back row, aren't you?
We are. First off, our serve receive this year, we do like a point system. When they're doing stats, like a 3 is a perfect pass. A 2 is a pass where you can get at least two sets off of it, like decent sets. A 1 is like, oh, you just got it up. Let's try and figure out what we're going to do with this ball. And a 0 is like, can't do anything with the ball. And our averages are way up this year with our serve receive. We've worked a lot of time on our passing and our serve, and our defense is getting better because our block is getting set, so we can react better off the ball. So the back row portion is I'm extremely proud of. They're working really hard, and it's setting up our game for our offense, because our offense is very strong, and they do a really good job of setting balls across the net. Our offense is spread between all our players, and that is amazing. That is not something that can happen with every team and cannot happen every season, and we completely have that this year. So we have a force on every side. And sorry.
No, that's fine.
And even girls coming off our bench are super strong. So the depth of our team is bigger than it has been in a lot of years. So that's also really exciting.
Yeah, no doubt. Let's break it down a little bit by position and your back row. Your dig leaders, the first 2 matches are, Hannah Johnson's your libero, and then Brooke Zierden is very good back there.
Yeah.
They're your 2 main cogs there on the back row, or do you have
we have, so Hannah Johnson, the libero, so she's kind of been playing our middle back, and then Brooke Zierden, she's doing a really good job of reading and picking up a lot of balls on that left side, and has gotten a lot of digs. Jada Day is a newbie to our team this year, and she's a freshman coming in, and her serve receive is solid, and she has a strong left back presence as well. We have a lot of options for our back row, a lot of solid choices, so that's really fun. Our right side defense is getting stronger too. We have Aubrey Ade in the back row. The challenge for her is that she's also our setter when she's coming out of the back row. So a lot of times, balls that typically we would maybe have a typical person in the back row receive, she's releasing to the net to go set. So she, pulls herself out of those defensive spots sometimes because we need her to be setting our balls. Sure. And then Izzy Landberg is kind of been playing on our right side lately, and playing all the way around, and she, it's interesting. I feel like a lot of teams this year are using their right side hitters more than they have in the past, and hitting cross court. So it brings in our right side defense a lot more than it has in the past as well. So that's an interesting turn in the game. Okay. Normally it's like your outsides and your middles. We haven't had a lot of middle offense from the other teams these last couple of games. So, every team is different. So it'll be just how we adapt to it.
Yeah, you'll be tested there, I'm sure, eventually.
Yep.
Aubrey and Maddie Brimhall have been doing your setting, and they have a lot of options. Talk about your attack game with your setters and hitters.
Yeah, so with our setters, it's kind of interesting this year. We have a couple different options, and, with Maddie Brimhall coming in to set in our front row, she can hop out of this gym, so she can create a really big block for us on that right side, which is really fun to see. And then she also has that attacking option because she'll be front row as well as setting. So she's also a hitter. So, there's moments that we can really use her as a triple threat, which is really exciting. Aubrey's really upped her game in the front row as well. If she does ever get in there, she's got a really strong down ball to get the ball over in a very controlled setting. So that's awesome. And then as far as our hitters being able to go across the net, we're still mixing it up a little bit, finding our feel. We have a new player on our outside that just transferred into our school this year, and she's a senior, and her name's Kiara Anderson. Very consistent on the outside. with her ball choices. We're lucky to have her come into our program. She fits in right with our team, and our girls have really embraced her, so that's exciting. We've switched it up a little bit. So Brooke Zierden plays a little bit of outside, and she plays a little bit of middle. Brooke's a really versatile player. And so you can put her in a position, and she knows exactly what she needs to do. And so it's kind of less coaching on our end. So that's one thing that we get to play with a little bit. If Brooke's on the middle, we have Carly Hurst, who is kind of getting a little middle right now, and outside. Carly Hurst broke her finger at the beginning of our season. So right now we're keeping her strictly front row, and man, she's a beast at the net. It's really fun to see her zone in and find those hitters, and I'd be scared on the other side of the net. I was going against her. And she also has a really strong attack. She can hit over blocks, and she can hit spots, which is really awesome. So that's kind of a combo of the middles. And then we got Rachel DeBrito. She's really running. She's doing a really good job of mixing up her hits this year, which is creating more offense opportunities for her. Super fun to watch. And then we have on our right side Isabella Landberg, and she has created a whole new dynamic coming into our program, coming out of that right side a little bit. She really makes those blockers guess, and it's creating more splits for our hitters on the opposite ends. She's either hitting or she's bringing in those blockers, and you never know what she's going to do. And when she gets the ball, she can put it down and she can place her spot. So that's really, really fun to have in there. Great outside block for her as well. And then we have some of the players that are on our bench right now that can come in and do damage is Adelaide Grebe. She has a really good presence at the net, really forcing over the ball, ready to attack the ball at any time on that right side as well. We have Elizabeth Klinert, coming in off the bench, outside or middle. She's hungry for the game. She can swing, and you tell her you're going to get this last kill. She's like, all right. And she goes in there and she does it. And we have Presley Warren, who's a sophomore coming off our bench, who is, starting to just improve all over the place, hitting her corners. We just have so many options, and it's amazing.
Makes it fun.
Yep, we have a player injured this year that's kind of out for the season, Reese Keel, unfortunately. Oh. So that's one of our hurting to our system. But yeah, and then my daughter Ava Noon, she plays some back row, and she can get in there and play defense. I mean, we just have so many options and stuff. So she's when she gets in there, she's ready to play. She's been injured as well, so. Yeah, it's just
a lot of reason to be optimistic. It sounds like.
Yeah. I can't say enough about all my players. I just want to talk about them all.
I was going to say, Sabrina, when you first started doing these interviews, you would hardly say a word. Now I can't get you to stop.
Yeah, I'm learning.
Hey, the clock is making us stop. Unfortunately, we got another 20 minutes of it. We'll do that next time you're here. Okay. Yeah. So you're on the road all week. So I guess we won't see you next Saturday, but you'll be back on the show in 2 weeks.
We'll be in our Marshall tournament. That's always a fun one.
Oh yeah, that'll test you for sure. Well,
yes.
That'll be fun. See where you're at. All right. Yeah. Hey, thanks so much.
Yes,
and you need a hat. Okay.
Okay.
You're a coach, so you have to have this nice hat from Running Stitches Embroidery.
I love this. This is great. Thank you very much.
You bet. I want to see you wearing that next time I see you.
Okay.
All right.
I will.
Okay. That's Sabrina Noon, the Otter volleyball coach. And we're going to take a break. We're going to talk Hillcrest girls soccer. First-year head coach Jeremy Forster is going to join us on the other side of the break as we continue our Coaches Show presented by the Viking Cafe.
The key to a great meal is at the Viking Cafe of Fergus Falls. The Viking Cafe with Minnesota's best omelet, manhole cover pancakes, and burgers that will fill your appetite. The key to a great breakfast and lunch is at the Viking Cafe, downtown Fergus Falls.
Welcome to Minnesota Motor Company.
As a customer, you can expect award-winning sales and service, body shop, express lube, Boss snowplows and accessories, and auto glass installation and repair.
Minnesota Motor.
Shout loud. Cheer strong. Jump for joy. Keeping our community healthy and spirited is the top priority. Lake Region Healthcare.
Nelson Auto Center in Fergus Falls and Grand Forks is your shopping stop for America's 3 favorite truck brands, Ford, Ram, and GMC. Whether you're towing, hauling, or just enjoying the open road, we have a truck for you. Half, 3/4, and 1 ton. There's a truck for every job. Stop and visit or shop any of our stores at NelsonAutoCenter.com. Nelson Auto Center, Fergus Falls and Grand Forks.
Running Stitches Embroidery in Fergus Falls is West Central Minnesota's leader in high-quality screen printing and custom embroidery. Whether you're looking for a one-of-a-kind custom job or need to outfit the entire team, Running Stitches Embroidery will be there when you need them.
What's your number?
I drove 60 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota.
I drove 45 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota.
Quality Toyota.
The key to a great meal is at the Viking Cafe of Fergus Falls. The Viking Cafe with Minnesota's best omelet, manhole cover pancakes, and burgers that will fill your appetite. The key to a great breakfast and lunch is at the Viking Cafe, downtown Fergus Falls.
Hillcrest Soccer is the topic, girls soccer. Jeremy Forrester is the first-year head coach at Hillcrest. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, welcome to head coaching.
Yeah.
Do you have some history in soccer coaching?
So I've been with Hillcrest this is my 6th season, 5 years assistant coach to Coach Jeremy Mueller. And then as he stepped down last year, I stepped up for it.
All right, so you're familiar with these girls that
Yes,
you're coaching.
yes.
That's a huge, good to start that way.
Yeah,
with
it
that
was a
relationship.
good bonus to be able to jump in with the team that I'm familiar with and not have to learn any new chemistry between players and coaches.
How about your philosophy as far as on-field play? Does it differ at all from what Coach Mueller did? Are you introducing some new strategies, or is it kind of what the girls have played over the years?
It's more or less a new strategy, I would say. Yeah. Different formations we're learning. Girls have learned 2 out of the 3 that we're planning on doing this year. So the 3rd one will be introduced this week as we get ready to face East Grand Forks in later of the week. But I would say, more or less a different philosophy.
And are they grasping it pretty quickly?
Yeah, they have. We've been able to get 2 wins so far to start season. And each one was a different formation. So I think they're enjoying it and learning about it good. So.
Well, let's look back at how season has started. You started with St. John's Prep.
Fergus
with Fergus
yeah.
was your first game. Yeah, Fergus was your first game. And that's, okay, we're going to open with our crosstown rival, all right? So there's a lot of fun in that rivalry, but there's a lot of pride you're playing for there, the bragging rights and all that.
Yeah.
And it turned out to be a pretty competitive game.
Oh, yeah. Anytime you get to play a crosstown rival is going to be a fun match. The girls were looking forward to it. Tends to be our first match of the season, the Otters normally. And we knew they were going to come ready to play soccer. But our girls went in. Little nervous at first. They admitted it, but they were able to find their rhythm and make things happen against them. So.
And you won the game 3-2.
3-2.
Do you have a couple of girls, Jeremy, that are going to be looked at to be your top scorers? Or are you a team that's going to be able to spread out the scoring opportunities and get production across the lineup?
Yeah, I think there's definitely a couple girls we have on our roster who will probably be racking up some goals this season, hopefully. But overall, I would say it's a shared experience. Yesterday was a good example of it. 4 goals by 4 different girls. So that was awesome to see because it shows that they're ready to score and they're hungry for that.
Dakota Campbell notched one for you against Fergus. Is she one of your top goal scorers?
So right now, I think she is our top goal scorer. I think she got 2 that game, I believe.
Yeah.
2 goals. And then Alexa Ewan had her 3rd goal for that game. So right now, I think she's the one sitting with 2 for us.
Is this a good passing team? Are you able to set your players up pretty well?
Yeah. So yesterday was a good testament to that as well. I spoke to the Crookston radio station right before the game, and they asked me what the game plan was. And I told them, I said, our big philosophy that we're working on this year is good communication will equal to good passing. Good passing will create our opportunities. And that showed yesterday against Crookston. Took us a bit to find that rhythm, but ultimately we found it.
Well, and that was a 4-0 victory, and McKinley Ballweg was in a goal for you.
Yep. McKinley Ballweg is our go-to goalie for the year. She has been for a couple of years now. She's grown a lot since she first came to us in 7th grade. But yeah, so far I think for the season it's about 34, 36 saves, which is a big step up for her from last season. And yesterday was a good game. She had her first shutout, so...
Who's in front of her defensively? Do you feel you're pretty strong on that defensive line?
Yep, our defensive line, pretty solid. We have Paisley Garvin on our outside, Maggie Mark with Sarah Denise in the middle, and then Avery Usselman on the outside right.
And are they not only good defenders, but capable in starting that transition, getting that ball in a position where your midfielders can advance it?
Yep. Paisley Garvin yesterday really stepped up for us big. She had some huge through balls come through for us to create some opportunities for us, which was nice to see that they're getting in the motion of looking up the field, seeing their forwards ready to go, and send that ball through.
Well, controlling that midfield is pretty important. Also, do you have a pretty solid group of midfielders?
Yeah. Alexa Ewan is our main center attacking mid for the year, and she has grown tremendously throughout the past couple years she's played with us, especially this season. It was a new role as we had 2 seniors graduate last year that were our main center mids, but Alexa has stepped up into it really well, and she's been very dominant with the passing and creating opportunities for our team. But she has a good support team as well. Lauren and Grace yesterday did a tremendous job, as well as Donna Rodriguez.
How deep are you? Do you bring a number of subs off the bench, or are you kind of with your first 11?
So right now, our first 11 varies from game to game, just depending on how often we're playing that week. But our bench is pretty deep. We have some good players on the bench as well who are ready to step up. I believe we have a roster of 18 right now for the varsity squad, which is more than we've had in past seasons. So it's a very good turnaround this year.
And you always, it seems like are there still Norwegian students who are involved in the team?
Yep. This year we have one Norwegian student. Her name is Mary Felgiskar, and she is a vital piece to our attacking option. She plays on the left wing. She does a really good job dribbling against players, as well as bringing the ball up and getting it back into the box for us. She had her first goal yesterday on varsity, so that was a big moment for her. It was a beautiful shot from outside the 18.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a 3-2 win over Fergus, a 2-0 loss at St. John's Prep. That's a solid program, isn't it?
Yeah. We knew going into that game, St. John's was going to be a tougher team. Not that we underestimated Fergus. We knew they were tough, but we knew St. John's usually has a very solid program. But, for 63 minutes, I think it was, we held them off to 0-0. And, a few mistakes, and it lets a goal in, but that happens. And, I told the girls, I said, there's nothing to be disappointed with. You girls looked really good out there. You did everything you needed to do, and it just happened to fall in St. John's favor.
You mentioned your comment to the radio broadcaster in Crookston about communication being a key. 4-0 win at Crookston. Talking about goalie communication with defense with midfield with attackers. You've got to have it all the way up and down the field.
Yeah.
And are you pleased with the way that part of the game has progressed? Are you making good progress?
Yeah, I would say, only 3 games in the season. When we played the Otters, it was a little not where I wanted it. St. John's, the girls were stepping it up. But, yeah, I would say against Crookston yesterday, they did a really good job. I kept reminding them as the game went on. I said, hey, remember, communication, good passing, that'll give us opportunities, and they stuck to that. And I think everyone on that field yesterday did a tremendous job just communicating with each other. I could hear it from where I was on the bench. My assistant coach, Mandy, could hear it. And it truly was creating a lot of opportunities for us against Crookston.
Once the season starts, Jeremy, the games come fast, don't they? I mean, you got 3 games coming up this week.
Yeah. Yeah, we have Walker at home on Tuesday, and East Grand Forks away on Thursday.
Yeah.
There might be one in there as well that I'm missing.
DL on Saturday, I think.
I'm
thinking next Saturday already. So, so you got 3 games coming up this week, and that doesn't give you a whole lot of practice time. But
no, not too much practice time. Yeah.
So do you just fine tune then, kind of based on what you saw last game? I know you're putting in your your strategies. So you got that to work on too.
Yeah, I mean, Tuesday's game, I'm looking forward to it. I'm very curious about Walker. A few years ago, they were not the greatest team, but they had personality there. And over the past couple of years, their program has clearly gotten better as they've been able to compete with a lot of these teams. And this year, it looks like they're having a good season. So we're excited to have them come to us and see what we can do against them on Tuesday. But we're ready to fight, and the girls know that each game is going to be a fight to go.
Sounds like it's going to be a fun season for you. So congratulations on 2-1 start, and
thank you.
Best of luck the rest of the way. And thanks for coming in and visiting with us.
Thank you for having me.
I got a hat for you here.
Oh, thank you.
From Running Stitches Embroidery. And I know coaches can never have enough hats.
Yeah, no.
No, all right. So add that to your
Thank you. I appreciate
collection.
it.
All right. Jeremy Forrester, first-year head coach of the Hillcrest girls soccer team, joining us on our Coaches Show. We're here Saturday mornings from 8 to 9:30, and we'll continue on the other side of the break. More soccer. Joel Heikus, I believe, is going to join us next to talk about the Otter boys as we continue our Coaches Show presented by the Viking Cafe.
The key to a great meal is at the Viking Cafe of Fergus Falls. The Viking Cafe with Minnesota's best omelet, manhole cover pancakes, and burgers that will fill your appetite. The key to a great breakfast and lunch is at the Viking Cafe, downtown Fergus Falls.
Welcome to Minnesota Motor Company.
As a customer, you can expect award-winning sales and service, body shop, express lube, Boss snowplows and accessories, and auto glass installation and repair.
Minnesota Motor.
Shout loud. Cheer strong. Jump for joy. Keeping our community healthy and spirited is the top priority. Lake Region Healthcare.
Nelson Auto Center in Fergus Falls and Grand Forks is your shopping stop for America's 3 favorite truck brands, Ford, Ram, and GMC. Whether you're towing, hauling, or just enjoying the open road, we have a truck for you. Half, 3/4, and 1 ton. There's a truck for every job. Stop and visit or shop any of our stores at NelsonAutoCenter.com. Nelson Auto Center, Fergus Falls and Grand Forks.
Running Stitches Embroidery in Fergus Falls is West Central Minnesota's leader in high-quality screen printing and custom embroidery. Whether you're looking for a one-of-a-kind custom job or need to outfit the entire team, Running Stitches Embroidery will be there when you need them.
What's your number?
I drove 60 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota.
I drove 45 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota.
Quality Toyota.
The key to a great meal is at the Viking Cafe of Fergus Falls. The Viking Cafe with Minnesota's best omelet, manhole cover pancakes, and burgers that will fill your appetite. The key to a great breakfast and lunch is at the Viking Cafe, downtown Fergus Falls.
Welcome back, and we welcome Joel Heikus to the program, the head boys soccer coach at Fergus Falls High School in year number.
Make
him think.
6, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, you've been around soccer for a lot longer than that, though.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Been involved in the rec program for probably 15 years, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yep.
And as a head coach, every year you've got holes to fill, adjustments to make, new personnel to work in. And from last year, you lost a lot as far as your scoring goes, of course, with Jaden Heikus graduating. That was a big part of your offense there. How hard is it, Joel, to rebuild when you lose guys that have been there for, well, not just last year, for many years?
Well, it's not easy, and the beginning of our season would show that. We had a couple games where I didn't think we performed the way we should, and I was reflecting on that, and I think, I think I put a lot of the leadership of last year on 1 or 2 players, and then when they went out, it's hard to right away get that next leader and that communication piece in. And losing Aiden Shaky, he's a big goal scorer, and then Jaden was such a powerhouse up and down the field, just communication and controlling the ball and helping on defense. And that was a big piece to fill. And then with Kyle, he was a very universal player. We could use him wherever. And then Braden was unfortunately with the injury, he was just a big force on keeping positive attitude and, keeping the team excited. So some big shoes to fill.
But the good news is you have some experienced guys back and a solid senior class that has provided some great impact over their underclassmen years who are now ready to step into those leadership roles.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we're getting to that point where they're starting to step up and understand their roles. And we should have a really strong defense. Alec and Quinn back there, they've played varsity defense for quite a while. Aiden and net. Strong defense, and then up front, Drew, he's back. He's been off and on with injury, but his speed is really good. And of course, Matthew too. He's got good speed. So yeah, I think our senior class, they'll come together and they should lead real well.
Yeah, and that's it's always a key. Like I said, finding those leaders and. Off to a 1-2-1 start. You got the win over Brainerd the other night, that 3-1 victory. And I'm sure that felt good because, like you said, there were some struggles early and tough losses. But, boy, that did feel good to get that first W.
It was huge, and it's definitely not the way I wrote it up as a coach, coming, Brainerd's just always a powerhouse in the CLC, Yep. And so you get these other non-conference games and you think, all right, here we got a real good shot. And then things don't go your way, and then you get Brainerd rolling in, and you're like, well, let's go out and play like we practice and get this thing done. And you get that first goal, and all of a sudden the guys are like, okay, let's go. And yeah, it was a real fun game. Yeah.
Well, Beja Gustav has kind of stepped up and been your main guy putting the ball in the net right now. He's got a lot of skill.
Oh, he's got a ton of skill, and the best thing is he's young, but he's learning that. When you pass the ball, it gives you even more opportunity, So he's really getting a lot better at the balance of I'm going to beat 1, 2, maybe 3 guys. Also, now I got a gang around me. Now I can pass it, and that'll give me some space and work with the other guys. So, he's got 2 hat tricks back to back.
Yeah,
back to back games. It's a lot of fun, and that's going to bring more pressure on him as the season goes. But that's going to open up, and I got. A number of guys up there that can score. So we'll use that to our advantage. And yeah, he's having a great time right now.
Yeah. And Marshall Feldbaum is another guy that'll put the ball in the net for you.
Absolutely. And he's kind of going to pick up that center of the field leadership role. And that's what he's been doing. He's been dishing. He had a real nice through ball to Beja in this last game. And we're going to look for a lot of passing and setting up plays. As well as putting in the back of the net. Yep, and he knows how to do that.
It seems like there's been some physical play so far, a lot of penalty kick opportunities, some conflict out there, some yellow cards, and even a red card, I think, against an opponent that has happened. So how are the Otters set up to combat that kind of a game, a physical style of a game? Are you able to do that?
We're getting there. I mean, our defense, I think, is Jaden was a huge physical presence in the center of the field last year, and so we got a little different style of play up front this year, which is fine. We just have to learn how to use it to our advantage. And in the cards, they might sound a little worse than they were. One of the yellows and the red weren't real violent plays. It's just if you purposefully foul somebody and take away a goal scoring opportunity. It's up to the red. Well, if you're going for the ball, it can be a yellow, but if you just outright take the body out, then it has to be a red. So it wasn't like they were, wicked hits or anything. It's just the defender decided, I don't want to let him score, so I'm going to take him down.
I'll take a card. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Well, there's been, soccer's a physical game.
It is.
And it's supposed to be. And if you're playing good and you're playing hard, you might every now and then pick up a yellow, but, got to play smart too. So
right, and there's a fine balance there, isn't there? Yeah. And just talking with Jeremy Forster from Hillcrest about the games come so fast because, the fall's a short season. You've got to get the games in when the weather's nice, hopefully. But you got 3 games this week. How does that play into your practice plans when you've got to prepare for 3 games?
Yeah, it's like you say. Once the games start, we do a lot of conditioning and focus practice before games start because once the games start, sometimes you get back-to-back games, and there's rarely you get 3 days without a game. So, yeah, you got to be really intentional about still getting some conditioning in there, but also working the game-type scenarios, set plays, things like that. Yeah, it's tough. It's 100 miles an hour right to the end. Yep.
Are you healthy as a team right now?
We're doing very well, yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And that's something I, as a coach, every year I coach, I learn a little bit too, and try to do better with different plyos and stretches. And I mean, getting the guys into strength in the weight room. Ratsy's been so great. And traditionally, when I started coaching, there was hardly any soccer players lifting at all. And it makes a big difference. You got to keep yourself strong out of season if you want to go injury free. And so far we're pretty good. And, I mean, there's, slight shin splints and things, if they weren't hurting a little bit, we probably aren't pushing them hard enough. But yeah, as far as any major injuries, we're looking good right now. And hopefully, I mean, the team is strong. There's a lot of them hitting the weight room, and they're working hard in practice. So hopefully it stays that way.
Good chance for the home fans to see the Otters Tuesday, East Grand Forks in town. And then Saturday was St. Cloud Cathedral. Between there, on Thursday, you go to Rocori for a Central Lakes Conference matchup, too. Who's on your coaching staff?
So as of right now, unfortunately, our JV coach from last year, Caleb, he fortunately for him, but he's continuing his education and things, and he just had a baby, so he had to step out. So right now it's just Kevin Feldbaum and I, although I guess Caleb did agree to come back a little bit part-time, and I'm kind of looking to fill a JV role. Our numbers are huge, so we really could use a little more coaching staff. We have 36 guys out 9 through 12.
Wow.
So, so the numbers are great. We're.
And I see during the summer, I see all these youth soccer players out there. You get good numbers in those young programs too, really young programs.
Oh yeah, Kevin Feldbaum and Rachel Toole kind of been running that for years, and man, they have really picked it up. They get huge numbers, and that's what varsity teams need to grow good culture and good teams.
Yeah. Awesome, Joel. Well, thanks for coming in and talking about your guys, and we'll look forward to visiting with you again in a couple of weeks. Have a great week this week. And, I'm out of hats over here. So you get this one, the display hat.
All right.
This is from a Running Stitches embroidery. It says AM 1250 KBRF Sports on it.
Beautiful.
So wear it with pride.
Thank you. And thank you to Viking. Man, that breakfast, that was good.
I like it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I enjoyed it too. The Viking Cafe, our presenting sponsor, and Joel Heikus, the head coach of the Otter Boys soccer team, joining us. One more interview today. Jamie Lill is waiting in the wings. So we'll get Jamie in the hot seat next as our Coaches Show continues, presented by the Viking Cafe.
The key to a great meal is at the Viking Cafe of Fergus Falls. The Viking Cafe with Minnesota's best omelet, manhole cover pancakes, and burgers that will fill your appetite. The key to a great breakfast and lunch is at the Viking Cafe, downtown Fergus Falls.
Welcome to Minnesota Motor Company.
As a customer, you can expect award-winning sales and service, body shop, express lube, Boss snowplows and accessories, and auto glass installation and repair.
Minnesota Motor.
Shout loud. Cheer strong. Jump for joy. Keeping our community healthy and spirited is the top priority. Lake Region Healthcare.
Nelson Auto Center in Fergus Falls and Grand Forks is your shopping stop for America's 3 favorite truck brands, Ford, Ram, and GMC. Whether you're towing, hauling, or just enjoying the open road, we have a truck for you. Half, 3/4, and 1 ton. There's a truck for every job. Stop and visit or shop any of our stores at NelsonAutoCenter.com. Nelson Auto Center, Fergus Falls and Grand Forks.
Running Stitches Embroidery in Fergus Falls is West Central Minnesota's leader in high-quality screen printing and custom embroidery. Whether you're looking for a one-of-a-kind custom job or need to outfit the entire team, Running Stitches Embroidery will be there when you need them.
What's your number?
I drove 60 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota.
I drove 45 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota.
Quality Toyota.
The key to a great meal is at the Viking Cafe of Fergus Falls. The Viking Cafe with Minnesota's best omelet, manhole cover pancakes, and burgers that will fill your appetite. The key to a great breakfast and lunch is at the Viking Cafe, downtown Fergus Falls.
Welcome back to the program, and Jamie Lill is joining us, the head tennis coach at Fergus Falls High School, and the Otter girls are 9-0, a perfect 9-0. We've got a lot to recap and a short time to do it. So, Jamie, you started the season way you've never started it by winning that Park Rapids tournament. How huge was that?
Well, that was just great for our girls in our program, just because we've been going ever since I've been here and before that. But we can always compete, but there's some really tough teams that are typically there, namely Minnewaska and East Grand Forks. And we went in and we got the points this time. So that was pretty exciting for us because that was a first for the girls and for Fergus Falls.
Boy, and your girls get a lot of matches on that tournament day and learn a lot about their game, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing that I love as a coach about that day is it's a flighted tournament. So, Ruby goes out and plays the 1 singles tournament, but we play 1 through 4 singles and 1 through 4 doubles. And we can sub in at that 4th spot throughout the day just to give some different girls a try, see some different looks, and see what the coaching staff thinks is working and what's not working, and go from there. So it's a good learning moment for us, too.
And Allie Bradenberg went 4-0 in her matches there at 3rd singles.
Yeah, she came in guns ablaze, which it's hard to slow her down anyway, but she came out ready to play for sure that day. She's having an awesome, awesome season for us at 3.
Yeah, and you had a couple of, 2nd-place finishes or 1 2nd-place finish as well?
Oh, we had a few, yeah.
A couple of them, yeah.
Ruby got 2nd,
Yeah.
Ashton and Hattie got 2nd, Carson and Dylan got 2nd.
There you go.
Yeah.
Nice.
And our 3rd doubles team of Kaya Ness and Siri Antonison Brown actually won their tournament as well. So,
well, there you go.
Yeah.
Wow. Fun
So
way to
good
start.
showings in every position for us. Yeah.
And then you didn't slack off once you got to duels. You haven't lost a duel since, and you've been pretty dominant in those meets.
Yes, for the most part we have, and it's fun to get a 7-0 sweep. We do enjoy that, of course,
Sure.
but we've got some pretty lofty goals this year. And one thing that happens when these matches are not very tight is us coming up with new goals or things that we're working on to focus and stay in the match. And just because you're way ahead or way behind doesn't mean you can't be losing or learning something. So we'll set mini goals for the girls or things to work on or mental toughness topics to work on when they're out there so that no matter how it's going, we can work to get better every time we're on the court.
You also, for early in the season, have a lot of milestones that you've reached already with a lot of your girls. Now, a lot of these girls have been playing a lot of tennis over the years, and milestones come if you work hard and you succeed, and you've got girls that have reached some big ones.
Yes, absolutely. So the first milestone hit was Ashton Lill hit her 100th varsity win. And so in digging into the archives with Derek Abrahams and Norm and people, we were trying to see who else has won 100 matches, and records aren't super clear, so we're not sure. But there's probably some possibilities of some other people. He mentioned maybe Kim Bloom or a girl named Jamie Husky once upon a time. But since I started in 2012 in my research, we learned that you may have heard of an athlete named Ellie Kolbeck.
Mm-hmm.
She's a pretty good athlete, and granted, her senior year knocked her out of tennis with her injury, but she had 46 wins. So that was the highest win total we'd had. And right now, I have 5 girls who have hit 50 wins.
Wow.
So, and some are approaching another milestone, and you'll be seeing those. But with Ashton with 100, and then my 50 girls, I've got Carson Lill and Dylan Lill, and Hattie Fullhart and Ruby Ellison both hit it last year. So they are on to the next goal. But so to think of all the years that I've been here, no wonder we're doing so well lately, honestly. And it just couldn't happen without a great team. If Carson and Dylan came in as 7th graders and had to play first singles, they probably wouldn't have won 50 matches by now.
Right.
But they were surrounded by a team of girls who fill up our ladder so well that they could start, and be sneaking their way up the ladder. And it's just a great situation for all of them.
And your matches, they just happen every day. It looks like, oh, there's another match for the Otter girls. And you'd have to do it early in the fall, obviously, to get all the matches in. But do you remember when you were playing, you didn't have this many matches probably as you do now? Or was the schedule still that intense?
No, things have changed a bit. When Derek and I were looking, we thought we usually play between 16 and 20 matches a year. And our girls are able to play up to 28 regular season matches. And I do kind of push it and try to fill up that schedule as much as we can, and if we can do it safely. But I think quads, where we get 3 matches in a day like we did on Thursday, it's not always the best thing, but when you want to see the certain teams, and that's when you can see them, we make it happen. But yeah, there's more triangulars and things happening as well.
Do you, when you have a situation like Perham the other day, do you try to vary your lineup in some places, or do you really want to see your best lineup against this particular team?
We had 3 different lineups that day, is what I will
Okay.
tell you. And I mean, if you followed us long enough, you'll know that we pretty have a solid 1-2-3 and 1-2 doubles that have been the same for a few years now. But depending on the competition, we want to try some different things, because even if the match that day doesn't require it, if later on down the road we face a team that we need to have Ruby playing doubles or Hattie playing singles or different things that we can do, we want to have practiced that and given them a chance to get a little experience under the belt and those things. So, we went with 3 different lineups that day, and they all seemed to work.
Well, that's a good thing,
Yeah.
right? You can make those moves and feel confident that whatever you do is going to
Yes.
be working, because you've got the athletes that can step in and do it. So.
For sure. And the one name that comes to mind is Kaya Ness, because she'll show up on any given day and I'll be like, well, you're playing singles, or you're playing first doubles or second doubles or third doubles, and she just rolls with it, and she's just awesome at being able to be like, whatever.
Right.
And yeah, she's a go-getter.
We have to talk about Norm for a minute here. Norm Newell has worked with all these girls at one point or another, and I know he takes a lot of pride in these girls doing what they're doing out there, not from his standpoint, but just to see the progress they've made. And he's been such an influence on a lot of your girls, hasn't he?
Absolutely. Norm the legend. He's done lessons with my own children since before 5th grade, which would explain why they got to play varsity when they started in 7th grade, because Norm got his hands on them. But private lessons, he still runs a 3-day-a-week camp in the summer. Wow. He is just there for all of it. And he's been there doing that for athletes in Fergus for lots of sports forever. I got to take lessons from him when I was a kid. And he's the first guy there and the last guy to leave most of the time. And he's just the hugest asset to our program and just a wonderful human. And I don't know if you heard, but he was the assistant coach of the year.
I have not heard that.
Well, he's not going to tell you, but I will.
Well, congratulations, Norm. You deserve it.
Yeah, and he got a plaque, and Jesse Schneeberger, my other assistant coach, and I thought maybe he should have worn it with a chain, just some bling at the matches Thursday, but I guess he didn't decide to do that.
Probably not, knowing Norm, no. But that has to help you immensely, too, to have coaches like Norm and Jesse working with these kids, and Roy, before he retired, Roy Anderson, and just so valuable for a head coach.
Well, absolutely. And Jesse's great to have around, because he can still smack the ball around pretty good and try to beat up on our top players when we need it. And Norm is always just a great sounding board, where he and I will talk lineups or thoughts and things, and we don't always agree, and I like that, because he makes me think outside of whatever my box says, and just a great guy to talk tennis with.
Right. You've had such success. How has this impacted your numbers? Are you seeing an increase in numbers? Is it stabilizing?
Well, I would love to tell you that this is our first year in about a decade that we have a separate middle school program, because our numbers have suggested that we can do that again.
Awesome.
So I've got right now 38 9th through 12th graders that are doing all the things with us. So that's plenty of varsity JV girls. We'll take it. And hopefully our middle school program will catch on and continue to grow from there as well, as a good feeder program up to the high school.
Since it's impossible for us to recap all 9 matches, would you just go through your varsity lineup and just kind of give me a 30-second snippet on each individual as far as what you're seeing from them this year, where their game is at?
Yes, I would love to do that. We'll start with singles. Ruby Ellison is at the top of our lineup. She is absolutely one of the top players in our section in singles. I think other teams, when they come to see us, sometimes are trying to hide from Ruby, so they'll try to throw some girls in doubles, and so that's awesome to have her at the top. She's pretty mentally tough and stubborn on the court. She's like a great athlete. She gets to everything and frustrates people really well. So that's Ruby at 1. At number 2, we've got Layla Zozel, another senior. She filled that role last year, and she has made massive improvements over the summer. She spent a lot of time on the courts with Titus Christensen and doing some other things. And she's a very powerful player and just a very strong girl. So sometimes it's learning when placement over power is the thing. And so we're just kind of working on that. But she's a go-getter. She's out there working hard all the time. At third singles, we've got Allie Bradenberg. She's a junior this year. Actually, funny, she came for a Band-Aid the other day because the girl will dive. She will do anything to get a point, and she's not going to give up on anything. And she will do whatever she's asked to do. So Allie is actually rocking it. I wish I had her season record in front of me. I can't really think of a loss she's had yet this year. So she's really doing a great job at 3. And at 4, that's one of those positions we're kind of cycling through. So we've had a new to varsity. Signe Millard has been in there some. You could expect to see Kaya Ness in there some. Ella Black has played a little bit, who's new to tennis and new to varsity. But they've all done a nice job filling in and showing that they're right there ready to play some varsity for us. And then on the double side of things, we've got Ashton Lill and Hattie Fullhart kind of taking the helm at first doubles, not dropping a lot of games even at this point. So that's been fun to see. Back again, the twins, Carson Dillon, Lil and Lil at second doubles, and they've got that figured out. And we're thankful that we've got Carson loving to run the way she does, because Dylan's had a pretty serious knee injury, and now she's just kind of trying to put the ball away and let Carson chase it around if she has to. So sisterly love out there.
There you go.
And then we've tried some different third doubles combinations. We've been a lot of Kaya Ness and Ella Black. Siri Antonison Brown has been in there. And we're still just kind of working that around to see what happens. But we're seeing great things, and I love that the girls are making the coaches sit here and go, oh, boy, we've got lots of girls who can play. It's a great problem, a great dilemma for us coaches. So.
Yeah. Awesome. Now, will your schedule allow you to get a lot of other kids involved, like JV and ninth grade and the middle school? Do you have enough matches for all these kids?
Yes. So
good.
Our JV, so everybody of those 38 travels with us and does every match that we do, basically. So they'll all get lots and lots of matches, and we've got a few of those upper JV that have peaked in at practice a little bit. We're just trying to see where everybody belongs for sure. And the middle school team is still getting their schedule put together, but they are finding matches to get us going. And so it'll be a great thing for them to have 7th and 8th graders playing other 7th and 8th graders. So we're excited for that.
With all these milestones that have been reached and all the experience these girls have in high school tennis, my next question is, are we seeing future college tennis players here? Is there an interest among these girls to try to raise their game to that level where they'll be able to go and compete in college?
You know, I have a couple of them who have talked about the possibility of doing that. And then I have a couple who are like, I might be done when high school is done.
Sure.
So we'll just see. But I do know Ashton Little has looked a little bit. She's gone to some recruiting things at Northwestern and a few places. But we'll just see what happens, I guess.
Okay.
But we've got a lot of them with a lot of talent who sure could.
Yeah. Do they play a lot of summer tennis, your girls, or
nonstop?
Yeah, nonstop. Okay.
Yep. We can't try to cram it all into 8 weeks. So they were waiting for the boys to get off the court sometimes so they could start in March, April, May, and then they hit it hard all summer.
Are there tournaments they can play in during the summer, competitive around the area or not?
There's a few. We're not super big into them. We've done some ALEC tournaments, and what I've done the last few summers is set up some scrimmages in St. Cloud area so that we don't have to pay and we don't have to,
Yep.
So we've been doing that the last few summers too, just getting in some play, cycling through a few different towns, and it's been helping.
Awesome. Well, what a great start to the season. I'm sure the girls are enjoying it, and I don't know how, let's see, Carson and Allie are also running cross country.
Yes.
How does that work?
It works amazing for Allie because Allie has listed tennis as her top sport, so I don't ever miss her. Carson's top sport is cross country, so sometimes she is absent on the tennis court, and that's okay because she's really found her niche there as well. But it makes it a little bit tricky on our side of things this year.
Sure.
But
yeah.
A little stinker.
Yeah. All right. Well, she'll do all right.
I think she'll be all right.
Yeah, she'll weather the storm.
Yep.
But thanks for coming in. And did you get your omelet?
It's waiting to go home with.
There we go.
I might have to get it on the way before anybody else sniffs it.
The Viking omelets and hash browns. That's what the coaches got today, and the announcers.
Yeah.
And I know David enjoyed it, but can't beat the Viking. And we appreciate them being our presenting sponsor this year. Appreciate. I think I'm running out of words.
Yeah.
Appreciate Running Stitches Embroidery and the hats that Jamie will get next week because I ran out of hats, so that's bad planning on my part. But we'll get you one next week.
Sounds good.
Okay. Thanks, Jamie. Appreciate it. And we appreciate you watching the show. Be sure to tune in next Saturday morning also. We're here from 8 to 9:30 Saturdays throughout the winter sports season on Newstalk 1250 KBRF and streaming live through the Fergus Now app and the KBRF YouTube channel. The Coaches Show presented by the Viking Cafe.
Thank you for joining us for the Newstalk 1250 KBRF Coaches Show, presented by the Viking Cafe and brought to you by the Minnesota Motor Company, Lake Region Healthcare, Nelson Auto Center, Quality Toyota, and Running Stitches.